do you go to some of the camps and check it out? It's completely different than what you did, what I did. They're a little more, you almost want to say professional about it, you know, like they're training their bodies, they're taking care of their bodies, they're eating right, they're not kind of quote unquote meatheads.
Yeah, I mean, I have a buddy that teaches at one of the Easton locations out here. I taught a seminar last year when we were in Denver. I'm not going to be teaching one this year. They sent some of the other fighters instead. But so I will occasionally get out to the schools, but typically I don't, because come fight week, like I have other obligations, obviously, like working for the organization. So it's difficult for me to get out and train. But I will say this. When I was prepping for my second Vanderlei Silva fight, or was it my first? No, I think it was my first one. I actually went to Black House and trained with Anderson Silva and all those guys out there. And it was interesting at that point in my career seeing the approach that they took to sparring, because they did very little full contact sparring. It was a lot of like flow play. And so I learned quite a bit of that towards the tail end of my career. Now, you know, I still like to get in and bang it out a little bit. It's just like old habits die hard. Yeah. But the percentage at which the percentage of abuse that I put my body through towards the tail end of my career really made a difference. And so, like, you know, I went into the gym 2 weeks ago and I'm working literally with guys half my age, no joke. And I can still like dance circles around these guys. So there's part of me that's like, you know, I got one or two more.
That's a good feeling.
Yeah, it is. Like I got one or two more in me, but here's the difference, man. Like if you come to the gym and watch me move, you're like, man, bro, you still move like you're 25 or 30. But then if you watch me at my house 2 hours later,
I feel like it.
Yeah, the recovery,
bro.
You start calcifying, waking up in the morning, getting your feet going, all that shit, right?
Yeah. So now at this age, I think to myself, if I really was going to come and do another fight, like how would I have to structure a camp? Because I don't think I could handle 2 days on a consistent basis. I mean, you know, it's like when I was in fight camps, it's like I would get up, I would do my road work, come home, a little bit of business, breakfast, that kind of stuff. First session, like 10 to noon, 11 to 1 type of thing. And then take the afternoon off and come back at night and do like a 6 to 8:30 or something like that for an evening session. And it's like, you know, you're putting in your 4.5 to 5.5 hours of work a day.
I think you need that though. It's a fine line. Like I think there's some guys that still do kind of the old school way we did, you know, where it's this grind and, you know, people are like, oh, worry about your body. It's like, yeah, but at the end of the day, it's also cage fighting. So you have to embrace that kind of, I get all the science and, you know, LeBron spends $1 million a year on his body and, you know, you got to only train twice a week and recover. It's like, I don't know, man. There has to be a bit of the dog in you where, yeah, you're going to be overtrained, man. Part of the game. You're going to be overtrained. It's going to suck. You got to run your miles.
You were Brendan was talking about, you know, if you're not running, and I always try to avoid running because everyone's like, I do the Aerodyne bike and then I do that. And Brendan's like, but running, you know. And the other, I meant to text you the other day, I started running. And even like there is a marked difference in adding running into a workout, even if it's a mile. It's not easy. It sucks.
It's easy to jump on the Aerodyne. It's easy to, you know, Jacob's ladder. They're tough, don't get me wrong. But as far as straight up like mental toughness, road running, getting your legs ready for a fight or for whatever you want to do in life.
That's why everybody does it, I guess.
Yeah.
Do they though? A lot of people don't.
Whoever talks about that runner's high bull crap, man, like that's straight junk. Like I don't experience that junk.
Me neither.
I absolutely hate running. I still run. And I still run. I don't run a lot. But I will say this, two things. Number one, running is important because like I'm at the hotel now. It's fight week. Let's just say, for example, this building catches on fire and I can't get on the elevators. I better be able to run out of this thing, right? I mean, there was several years ago when people were at a concert in Las Vegas, and then there was an open a shooter, and they're in an open area, like, and you still got to skedaddle and get out of there. Like you better have the ability to run. I've been late for planes on layovers in airports like Istanbul, where I have to basically run from one end of the airport to the other, and it's like I'm basically covering a mile with a 25-pound backpack on my back. And so it's like, that's important. But I will say this, I run infrequently now, and I do enough just to maintain my ability to run. But, man, I can tell a difference in my legs. Like when I go in and spar for, you know, I'm sparring for 45 minutes to an hour and then do a little bit of a pad work after. And it's like, I just, you know, I hit maybe an hour and 30-minute workout and I come out and I'll drive my truck home. And then in that 20-minute drive, I go to get out of my truck and I'm like, whoa, and my legs are all wobbly. I'm like, I never experienced this kind of like fatigue in my legs when I was fighting because I was consistently doing road work.
And you fought at 80. You fought at 185. What are you right now? Did you gain weight? You look like you're in fight shape.
Yeah, I'm 220. That's what I walk around at, and I look like I'm in fight shape because my body fat is always been in single digits. I'm probably sitting at about 7.5% is my guess. And it's always been that way. I've never been a fighter that allowed me to like fluctuate up and down. Like I would say I'm only maybe 8 to 10 pounds heavier than I was at my heaviest competition weight anyway.
Rich, you're getting ready for a fight. You're always ready for a fight.
He's always like this.
It's so funny. Like he's so intense. He's like, well, right now it's single digit. Now, I was dancing circles. Like, you want to fight. You have not let it go.
But most guys are. It's also like, there's nothing worse than if you were on here, Rich, and you're 280 pounds, it's such a bummer.
You've let go of the idea that you're going to fight again.
No, but so have I. I mean, like, don't get me wrong. It's just, here's the thing. Like, this is a mentality. And even if I'm never fighting again, I have to be able to put the best version of myself forward every day when I wake up.
Yes.
Like there are days, like Marvin Hagler said, like it's difficult to get up and do your road work when you're sleeping in satin sheets. And I think about this quote all the time because I don't have to work. I don't have to work like that now. I don't have to fight. And so when I wake up in the morning and I'm thinking, I want to do my empty stomach cardio, even if I'm getting on the assault bike, I know that I'm going to put myself through hell. Like I know. So I have to like talk myself into it every day. Like, come on, man, just get moving. Like once you get moving, it'll be okay. And but it's like, what's the alternative?
You're right.
Be like everybody, be that guy who suddenly you look at him and you're like, when we're done with the podcast, you're like, damn, man, I can't believe, do you see what happened to Franklin?
Dude,
like that guy.
He's be world champ, man. That guy? Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
I asked Sugar Ray Leonard one time, I said, why, sorry to drop a name, but he's, I said, he was 62 or something. I said, how do you, what keeps you in shape? And he looked at me, he goes, vanity. It was such an honest answer. It was so true.
Dude, go look at, I'll tell you one guy that I really looked up to, like in the 90s, 2000s, like Prince Nazim Hamed.
Yeah.
That guy, go look at him. Go look at him today.
He's fat as a tick.
Dude, it's tough. And I don't even like saying bad things about people, but it's like, I don't want to be that person who walks in the room when people leave. They're like, wow,
worse.
Like what happened to that guy?
Nothing
so,
worse.
I still looked apart and martial arts was my first love. I enjoy training still. So it's like, and I'm not, it's not a mental thing where I haven't given it up. I'm cool with where I am in life. I'm 50. I get it. But it's like, I'm going to put the best version of myself forward. And if I'm not, then I've just turned into.
Also, you don't know, like the other day, I almost had an encounter with somebody who was messing with my wife and kids. It's like, you got to be ready to go, man. Especially this day and age in society. Like, you got to be ready to go.
Yeah, but Brendan, hold on. I'll just say this, Brendan. The reality is that you could never do another armbar rep or throw another jab in your life. And the chances of you running into somebody that's actually going to be problematic for you is zero.
Dude, you never know, dude. You never know.
He's so weird, strong, and skilled. Like I take jujitsu, and sometimes I try to work shit that I've been working on. I try to actually just attack him when nobody's watching. I'll just jump on him when he's sitting there or he's tired. And obviously, I'm not a good example, but it's just so funny how if you're a regular dude and you want to get caught up in his fucking horns, in his tusks, good luck. It's going to be a very quick.
But it's not even that. It's just you just got to be ready to go these days. That's what gets me going.
Always.
Man.
I'm with you on that, but I think about it all the time. I'm like, who the heck is actually going to mug me on the street? Like even if
I wish they
have
would.
A pistol. If you get within reaching distance of me, you're done. Like I'm gonna grab you before you can even pull the trigger anyway. Like, but it doesn't stop me. I'm still in the gym, freaking 5-6 days a week.